other than not feeling well, how's the day going for you?
It's going
very
swell
well.
and dandy.
Everyone's been charming so far.
Everyone has been very enthusiastic.
Good. What's good news?
Good, I'm
It's
glad
a little,
you're back.
it's a little easier to come in and be all chirpy when the movie,
Yeah,
when it's a
so
good
yes,
movie.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Sometimes.
I'm sure you've had it the
you
other
know,
way.
What's the
sometimes.
worst film you've had to watch and then go and interview someone about?
Oh man. There have been a number of romantic comedy movies that just aren't my
Yes,
thing, you know.
totally.
That then you have to go back
And be
and
like-
afterwards and look at Jennifer Aniston in the face and go, "So congratulations on the movie."
Oh yeah, I know. She's like, thank you so much. Oh no.
It could be what you're doing to us right now.
No, not at all. Well, I know Teddy Wilson was in here
lovely.
earlier showing you photographs of him as a zombie. This is me as a zombie in a movie called Exit Humanity.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was a zombie
Awesome.
priest.
Roll it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah. So that was like 3 hours worth.
You look good as a zombie.
You know what?
I have to say.
Everyone's been a zombie.
I know. You don't feel that special.
Jeez.
Well, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what appealed to you about this, because when I saw it, I thought, well, it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet, and it's a little bit like Pinocchio almost. There's a lot of things here. What was it that grabbed you guys right away?
For me, it made me laugh. The perspective of being told from the zombie's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the character. I cared about him a lot, and I also just thought it was a sweet, story about these two people that are kind of trapped in their separate ways. One living, one dead, and then they kind of both managed to help each other out and connect and transform and for the better. So yeah.
And for you?
The script was so strong. It was really refreshing. It was a new concept. I'd never heard of anything like this before. The fact that all these genres were mixed. It was romantic, but then it was an action film, and then it was like zombie genre, and it was also hilariously funny too. And I am a huge fan of Jonathan Levine's. He's an incredible director. I was a big fan of his movie, The Whackness.
The Whackness is so underrated. In terms of,
Yeah.
there's 25 people that love that movie, and there should be 25 million people. That
Yeah,
love it.
it's a brilliant film, and I knew straight away that Warm Bodies is a difficult film to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine balance. You don't want it to be a parody. You want it to feel grounded in reality, yet there's zombies. So it was, I just put my faith in Jonathan Levine and just knew I wanted to be a part of that movie.
For you, you play a zombie. It doesn't give anything away. You play a zombie at the beginning of the movie. Did you approach it like, I'm going to play a zombie, or did you approach it, I'm going to play a character who doesn't speak and is sort of almost like a mime sort of situation?
It was kind of from both angles a little bit. We watched, me and Jonathan would sit through and watch a lot of zombie films and other things like Edward Scissorhands and all those sort of stories, kind of, monster movies where there's a lead character who's disconnected and doesn't really communicate very well. But then for some of it, we'd go into, so we'd listen to those zombie noises, but then I worked with my dialect coach, and that was kind of like working on the American accent, but also zombifying it, and then thinking about people who had brain injuries and had to relearn how to speech and muscle memory and all those sort of
Diving
things.
Bell and the Butterfly was one we talked about.
Another great movie, yeah.
So there was lots of stuff going on. We did a load of work, but then turned up on set and just kind of made it up.
Right.
He winged it.
Winged it.
And for you, finding the balance between the action and romance and all that, how did that fall for you, or was it just all on the page?
Yeah, to be honest, and this isn't always the case, it was so already there in the script. It was really, it was quite remarkable how he managed to include the romance and then the action and the comedy, and so I just had to play true to what was written and then bring my own essence to the character too. And I love that she's really bubbly, she's optimistic, she's definitely looks at life glass half full, and that's one of the reasons why she can turn her fear into curiosity and ultimately into love for this undead guy.
Now, it's kind of a two-parter. How do you keep the audience on side with your character after they see you eating someone's brains? And what were they? What did they taste like?
Okay. I think the thing that keeps the audience on side is has some voiceover in the film, so you kind of get a little insight into his thoughts and feelings, and the fact that he doesn't want to eat brains. He apologizes up front.
Intention.
He's like, I'm sorry, I've just got to do it. It's like a drug to him,
Yeah.
And so and the way he approaches it. I mean, he has just been shot as well, so it's tit for tat in many ways. But then there's so I think you kind of stay on his side just because he's kind of witty and you feel sorry for him because he's trying his best.
Right.
You know, he's a character that's trying, and that's what I think Julie sees in him as well. Is this guy that even though he's struggling in many ways, he's doing his best.
Yeah.
The brains were a kind of soft, cold, wet, spongy cake thing.
Delicious.
They were pretty good. Bits of grapefruit, peachy, a lot of fake blood.
Right.
They were pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a zombie in a movie once covered in fake blood, and I just found the stuff was sticky and stayed on you for days afterwards.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get. I had this sort of red tinge to my for a long time
It's awkward
afterwards.
going home at the end of the day and you got like blood dripping out your mouth and a load of eyeliner on.
Oh no, I
Way
had it
of
in my
explaining.
hair. When you wiped the blood on me, it would just stick in my hair for days.
Yeah.
My hair was stained pink. It's great.
Zombie Lord, did you watch any of the like the classics of George A. Romero movies, that sort of thing? Did you? Because you're coming at it from it, you don't really need to know about them, but just out of your own curiosity.
Yeah, I was just curious. I wanted to get into the world of these zombie films. So I watched Zombieland because I thought that would be pretty beneficial. Because
a good way in for this, too.
Yeah, Zombieland is similar in the sense that it's they poke a little bit of fun at it, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's funny, and so I watched Zombieland, and then I also rewatched 28 Days Later because it's my favorite zombie film. I think it's brilliant and really gritty and raw and cool.
And for you?
Yeah, we watched a lot. We watched those and Shaun of the Dead, and but then went back to the Evil Dead, Night of the Living Dead, all those things as well, just to see kind of how zombies have developed, I guess, over time and first time they speak and want brains and things like that. But then, kind of, there wasn't a specific one that we looked at and were like, okay, that's the one we're going to try and use and recreate. It kind of just, it was just all kind of there just as a little bit of help.
Right, because this movie does kind of create its own mythology around zombies. The eating someone's brains gives them gives you their memories.
Yeah.
That's a new thing. I've not heard that before in zombie movies. So.
But I think it makes sense in many ways. And it's a good way to kind of see a lot of backstory as well of Perry's character, David Franco's character, and also, is a way for R to kind of see,
Fall in love with him.
to understand why Julie's different and what makes her tick and why he likes her so much.
George A. Romero literally lives around the corner.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.